It was the winter of 1996. Somewhere on a massive soundstage in Baja California, a 21-year-old English girl stood nervously at the edge of a half-built ship. The smell of salt water, the roar of turbines, and a giant mock ocean surrounded her. Across the deck, a young man with tousled blonde hair laughed as he leaned against the railing, squinting under the harsh studio lights. That was Leonardo DiCaprio, and this was the beginning of something the world would never forget. When Titanic hit theaters in December 1997, it wasn't just a movie, it was a phenomenon. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet became immortal as Jack and Rose, two lovers divided by class but united by fate. But the real story, the one the cameras never captured, was the quiet, electric bond that formed behind the scenes, a bond that neither of them ever quite escaped. Years later, at 49, Kate Winslet would whisper during an interview, "Leo is my closest friend. But yes, there was a moment, a small one, when I wondered, what if?" That single line sent fans into a frenzy. For decades, people had asked the same question. Did Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet ever love each other in real life? Kate had just finished Sense and Sensibility when she heard James Cameron was casting an epic love story aboard a doomed ship. She was 21, shy, full of ambition, but not yet a household name. Leonardo, on the other hand, had already been labeled Hollywood's golden boy. Romeo plus Juliet had made him a heartthrob overnight. He was reluctant to take on another romantic lead. "I didn't want to be a pin-up again," he admitted years later. But then came the audition. When Kate first met him, she was running late, mud on her boots, hair slightly damp from rain. Leo looked up, smiled, and said, "You're late, English girl." Kate laughed, embarrassed, and replied, "Then you'll just have to forgive me." That moment, crew members later said, was the spark. They read lines together, Jack sketching Rose, Rose teasing him, and something happened in that room. The air shifted. Cameron later recalled, "It wasn't acting anymore. It was connection." Leo's effortless charm collided with Kate's emotional sincerity. He teased her constantly, calling her mate, while she kept him grounded with her wit and warmth. On the first day of filming, Kate noticed Leo pacing nervously before the famous "I'm flying" scene. She approached him quietly and said, "Don't overthink it. Just feel it." He turned, grinned, and replied, "You really are Rose." And when she stepped onto that railing, wind blasting her face, Leo's hands held her steady. Not just as Jack, but as a friend who would never let her fall. That moment wasn't scripted. Kate's laughter, breathless, joyful, was real. Behind the scenes, their chemistry became the heart of the film. They played, they fought, they protected each other. Kate later revealed that during the nude sketch scene, she had been terrified. "I was so nervous I drank a little champagne to calm down," she said. And then Leo walked in, calm, kind, and funny as ever, and said, "Don't worry, it's just us." That gentle reassurance changed everything. She would later say, "That day I realized he wasn't just a co-star. He was safety." Leo, in turn, adored her strength. During long hours of shooting, while others complained, Kate stayed positive, encouraging everyone around her. "She kept the set alive," he once said. When she walked in, the energy shifted. Everyone smiled. It wasn't always easy. The shoot was grueling. Cold water, 14-hour days, endless technical resets. Once, when Kate slipped into the freezing tank and bruised her knee, Leo jumped in without hesitation, ignoring the director's orders. Later, she told reporters, "That's who he is. He doesn't think. He just helps." Crew members whispered that their closeness was almost telepathic. When Cameron asked them to improvise during the final goodbye scene, when Rose lets Jack go, both broke down crying. Those weren't tears for the characters. Those were real. When the movie wrapped, they hugged for a full minute. Kate buried her face in Leo's shoulder and said, "Promise me we won't lose this." He nodded. Never. When Titanic premiered, the world went silent. Teenagers lined up outside theaters. Adults wept. The film grossed over $2 billion. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet became household names. But while fans saw them as Jack and Rose, behind the curtain they were just two friends trying to survive the chaos of sudden fame. "Everyone wanted us to be together," Kate later laughed. "Even my mom asked me if I was in love with him." And for a while, she wasn't sure how to answer. At the 1998 Oscars, when Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On" echoed through the room, cameras caught Leo whispering something in Kate's ear. She smiled with tears in her eyes. When asked later what he said, she simply replied, "He told me he was proud of me." Over the years, life carried them in different directions. Leo became Hollywood royalty. The Beach, Catch Me If You Can, The Aviator, The Revenant. Kate explored complex roles: Eternal Sunshine, The Reader, Revolutionary Road. Yet even as fame reshaped their worlds, their bond only deepened. Leo once said, "She's the closest woman I've ever had in my life who isn't family." And when Kate won her Golden Globe for Revolutionary Road, she turned toward him in the crowd and said through tears, "Leo, I love you with all my heart. I really do." The room erupted. Fans called it the confession the world had been waiting for. But Leo later smiled and said, "It's love, yes, but not the kind you think. It's deeper than that." Their friendship became legendary. When Kate married Sam Mendes, Leo sent her a letter with a simple message: "Never lose your spark, English girl." Years later, when she divorced, Leo was her first call. "He was there instantly," she told Harper's Bazaar. "He doesn't judge, he just listens." And when Leo finally won his long-awaited Oscar for The Revenant in 2016, Kate sat in the front row, tears streaming down her face. That night, fans flooded social media with one question: why aren't they together? But maybe they already were, just not in the way the world imagined. In 2021, when they reunited after nearly 3 years apart, Kate broke down. "I couldn't stop crying," she admitted. "We're bonded for life." Leo smiled softly and said, "It's because we went through something no one else can understand." Their connection wasn't built on romance. It was built on trust, shared memories, and unspoken understanding. Leo once said, "There's nothing romantic between us. It's much stronger than that." "She's my person," Kate echoed. "He's family. Always has been." And maybe that's the truth fans miss. They didn't need to fall in love to prove what they had was real. Today, Leonardo DiCaprio remains one of the most respected actors alive, known for his activism, his environmental work, and his refusal to conform to Hollywood norms. Kate Winslet, now 49, continues to shine in both film and television, from Mare of Easttown to Lee. Both are parents. Both are survivors of fame. And both, in their own quiet ways, still check in on each other. Kate once revealed that Leo helped her pay legal fees during her divorce, a gesture she never forgot. He just said, "I've got you." "That's Leo," she said. And when asked what she loves most about him, she replied, "He sees me. Really sees me. And after all these years, that's rare." Leo smiled when he heard that interview and said, "She'll always be my girl. My Rose." The magic of Titanic wasn't just about a doomed ship. It was about two people who found something real in a make-believe world. Their laughter, their tears, their shared journey through youth and fame. Those were the real treasures beneath the waves. Kate once said, "When we're together, it's like time stops. We're still those kids on the deck of that ship, laughing, freezing, and falling in love with the story we were telling." And maybe that's why the world still watches Titanic. Not just for Jack and Rose, but for Leo and Kate. Because deep down, every viewer can feel it. That what happened between them was more than acting. It was fate. So now, decades later, when fans ask, "Did they ever love each other?" Maybe the answer is simple. Yes. Just not the way we expected. Because some love stories never need to be spoken. They just live forever. In every heartbeat, every wave, and every whisper of my heart will go on.